Okay, another Monday evening darkroom session. This is the print that we are going to work on. This print session, I'm getting a little bit of a late start, and it's been a few weeks. I have been crazy busy. Anyway, I figured I'd get a couple of hours in and try to at least get one or two usable prints of this particular print. This is from the same roll of the last couple of sessions that we've done. It's Fomapan 400. If I remember correctly, I processed it in D76 1+1, one shot. It was this particular negative is actually years old, like several years old at this point. I'm just going through my old archives and printing off copies of images that I like, that I took. So this one I really like. There's actually a whole strip, 7 or 8 images that are similar, and this is the best looking one that I like the best. So it's the one that we are going to enlarge. At any rate, I believe we're going to use the same settings as before. I'm going to do a grade 1 filter, just like so, and I believe 13 seconds is a good starting point at F11. Something like that. And then we'll just adjust from there. So that's what we're gonna do. So I've already pre-focused this and everything, so it'll be easy peasy. All right. So let's get our. Let me just double check something here real quick. Okay, yeah, F16. Or I'm sorry, 16 seconds and F11. So we're using Ilford multigrade paper as before. 8.5 by 11. It's the new purple label multigrade 5 or multigrade deluxe, or whatever you want to call it. The old version was multigrade 4. This newer version, I believe they're just calling it multigrade deluxe. All right, so I'm gonna get this in the easel like so. And then we're gonna do our exposure. 16 seconds. All right, let's develop, wash, and fix. Okay, that is mildly dark. I think we can definitely, so this area here, back here, is actually sunlight streaming in through a window that's got those horizontal blinds, you know, the slats that run horizontally. So definitely we can brighten this up. The white pajamas are a little gray, so what I'm thinking I might do, this was F11 16 seconds, so I might just bump it down to keep it at F11 but go down to 13 seconds. That's a third of a stop less, and just see what that gives us, everything else being the same. All right, so we're going to keep everything the same, except we're going to go to 13 seconds from 16 seconds. So 16 seconds is approximately, I try to keep my exposure times between 10 and 20 seconds because it gives you 1 second increments, but 10 seconds to 20 seconds is a full stop, right? 10 seconds to 13 seconds, technically 12.5 seconds, but 13 seconds because I only have second resolution. is plus a third of a stop, and then 13 seconds to 16-ish seconds, 16 and a half, I think, if I remember correctly, is 2/3 of a stop. So I just do 16 seconds. I guess you could do 17 seconds if you wanted to. So it would be 10 seconds, 13 seconds, 17 seconds, 20 seconds in third stop increments. But either way, we were at 16 seconds on the last exposure that we just did for that print. So now, I got 2 sheets out. That's not what I want. I don't want 2 sheets, I want 1. Let me put this one back. So now we're going to do 13 seconds. So now we're going to do, keep everything the same and just do 13 seconds. Here we go. All right, see how much of a difference that makes? I think it's still a little on the dark side. So you can definitely tell the reflected white is quite a bit darker still than the paper white, which you can see right there. And same thing with this. This should be nearly blown out. I might increase the contrast a little bit, but before I do that, I want to get my exposure time where this is a little closer to paper. Oops, sorry. This is, I want to get it to my exposure time where this is a little closer to paper white. So we're going to try 10 seconds and see what that gives us, because we've got detail here now. It's not totally crushed to black, but it's still, we could come up quite a bit still. All right, so the next one will be 10 seconds. Okay, now we are getting somewhere. This is 10 seconds, F11, grade 1. I'm thinking this is actually about right. And let's see, let me check to see what time it is. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock, so we're getting a little late. So this is going to be a somewhat short print session, but while we're here talking, let's talk about the developer that we're using. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, most developers are not brown. This basically is a bunch of used print developer. I reuse my print developer and replenish it with fresh print developer. And I also dump in, so this is basically an Adrian special. I also dump in used film developer. So this is a mixture of old Ilford multigrade print developer, old, used, and or expired Kodak X-Tall, used Ilford Ilfotech DD, which is Ilford's replenished dip and dunk developer. So all the replenishment overflow goes into a bottle instead of down the drain and goes into this developer. And also fresh Kodak Dectol, except this Dectol is the recalled Dectol that Kodak recently recalled. They had a batch where the powder was brown and basically the developer came out looking like root beer. It still works, as you can see. It still works just fine, but it's brown. The film developer that's in there, the X-Tall and the Ilfotech DD, doesn't really, sometimes I'll have some old D76 I'll throw in there. It doesn't really, it's really just there to provide volume. Sometimes if there's a lot of X-Tall in there, the print will look different. And if you ask me personally, the print will look better if there's a lot of X-Tall in the print developer. But at any rate, that's what I'm using. Normally, I would use Ilford multi-grade print developer, but because I have a bunch of Dectol that I can't sell in my online store because it's the recalled version of it, and Kodak won't replace it for me for free, so I converted it to personal use, and I'm just kind of burning through it. It works just fine, but nobody just wants to buy it. At any rate, the next bath is the stop bath, which is this here. It's always going to be clear. You can make stop bath a number of different ways. Kodak and Ilford both have a stop bath that you can purchase. Kodak's is indicator stop bath. I don't remember what Ilford's is called. Personally, I use 1 part white distilled vinegar, which is glacial acetic acid, to 4 parts water, which is literally the same thing, and I just use it one shot. It's the same thing as the indicator stop bath. It just doesn't change color when it goes bad. I mix it up strong enough and have enough volume that for the small print sessions that I use it for, it's not that big of a deal. It's not going to lose its acidity and stop development and protect the fixer, within the hour or so that I'm printing. And then the stop bath, or that's the stop bath. Then the fixer is Ilford Rapid Fixer. And it basically will fix a lot. Again, I use it replenished. I have a liter bottle that I use, and basically I mix up 250 milliliters of fresh, 1+4, put it in, dump the liter bottle in, and then at the end I fill the liter bottle up, so I've got essentially 250 milliliters left over that gets reclaimed, and that's that. So it's replenished. It's always relatively strong. It's mixed 1+4, and it lets me have a little 500 milliliter bottle where I can get at least a few months of prints out of it before I have to replace the bottle. And it's basically, once you do that initial 1 liter fill to get going, you basically just keep using it and top off 150 milliliter or 250 milliliters each time with 50 milliliters of rapid fixture and 200 milliliters of water, 1+4. So anyway, let me get this finished fixing and washed, and then we'll look at all 3 prints side by side. I might do one more next time of this where I go back to 13 seconds and then boost the contrast. But I want to let the prints dry, because there's going to be a little bit of dry down, and then take a look at it from there. All right. Okay. Here is F11 16 seconds, grade 1. F11 13 seconds, grade 1. F11 10 seconds, grade 1. F11 10 seconds, grade 1.5. So the difference between the two of these in terms of contrast, hopefully you can see that difference. And then going down, a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, and then going down again, darker yet still. This is too dark, this is too dark, this is about right, this is the same, just a little more contrast, which you can see the difference between that here and down in here. All right. That's it for this Monday night laundry darkroom prints. I will see all of you next time. Thanks for watching.